This is the Planning and Zoning Commission for the Village of Vernon Hills. We need to start with a roll call.
Chairman Morse,
Here.
Commissioner Blue,
Present.
Commissioner Cotton. Here. Commissioner Hesner,
Here.
Commissioner Heidner,
Here.
Commissioner Mulcrone,
Here.
Commissioner Gorag.
Here.
Quorum.
Okay. This evening, we're considering case 15-02, a petition filed by David Zimmerman pursuant to Appendix C of the Code of Ordinances, seeking a special use permit to permit a restaurant serving alcohol to be known as, is it MOD or MOD? MOD Pizza. B, approval of a special use permit including certain variations, but not limited to signage, parking, loading requirements, as well as preliminary and final site and landscape plan approvals and preliminary and final approval of architectural elevations. The proposed restaurant site is located at 701 North Milwaukee Avenue, Suite 364 in River Tree Shopping Center, which is the southeast corner of Route 60 and Milwaukee Avenue. It is zoned B1 Business. Okay, who's going to speak for the petitioner this evening?
Hi, I'm David Zimmerman with Mod Pizza. We're a fast casual pizza.
Okay, before you start.
Yep.
I see you brought either support or someone who made
Oh,
also.
Yep.
I thought I'd let him handle this.
Okay, well, that's fine too.
Nope. Go ahead.
You are?
Introduce yourself, Joel.
I'm Joel Rosenstein. I'm with River Tree Vernon Hills Venture.
Okay.
We're the property owners.
Okay. Since this is a public hearing, if either of you are going to actually give testimony, i.e. speak before this commission, we ask you to raise your right hand and swear or affirm that whatever testimony you're about to give shall be the truth.
Yes.
So far.
Okay. With that, I
Okay.
guess, Mr. Zimmerman, you're on. Ms. Rosenman, you can sit down if you'd like.
Great.
Or stand.
Or you can stay here.
be on
We-
TV.
yeah.
That's good.
Get your 15 minutes of
Of course,
fame
it's your
while
back,
you can.
but, you know.
So I'm with Mod Pizza. We're a fast casual concept. We're out of Seattle, Washington, started in Seattle. We're only about 6 years old. We just opened our second store yesterday in Deerfield. The first one was in Naperville. Vernon Hills will be our fifth store. We have one opening in Killdeer and Elmhurst, probably before Vernon Hills. We're looking to open probably 50 to 60 in the Chicago area over the next 5 to 6 years. Keep me busy till I retire, hopefully. So it's to explain the concept, I guess I would kind of explain it. The closest would be, it's kind of like a Chipotle for pizza. So you walk in, we have two different sizes of pizza. And you can get a little mini, you can get a mod, I'm sorry, actually three sizes, a mini, a mod, or a little bit larger one that would probably feed 2 to 3 people. The mod pizza is usually a single, a mini is usually for the kids. And you can put as many ingredients as you want on that pizza, and it's one price no matter what. But you walk down the make line, and they put whatever ingredients you want on that pizza. We have a gas-fired pizza oven right behind you. They take that pizza, put it in the oven, and 6 minutes later, the oven is 750 degrees. And so it's a quick bake. And then you go ahead and go down the line, get your drinks, and then take a seat. We call your name, you come and pick it up. It's not quite as fast as Chipotle, unfortunately, because by the time you're at the end of the line, they wrap it up and give it to you. We have to bake ours. So it's, unfortunately, we're not quite as fast, but it's still the same concept. And it's the fast casual, no food servers or anything like that. We generally employ 25 people at each location, and anywhere from 6 to 8 on a shift at any time, depending, of course, on what time of the day it is. And hopefully this will be a busy location where it's more like 8 people, so we're hoping. Deerfield opened strong, Naperville opened strong. Another pizza chain in Chicago, we weren't quite sure, but so far it's doing very well with the 2 we've opened. So we're excited to continue, finding these great sites and getting them open. Trying to think, I guess, any questions that anyone has about the concept itself? or what we're trying to accomplish with the concept. We always say we're not curing cancer, we're just serving pizza. It's pretty simple. It's just, we try to create that fun atmosphere as well. It's just, we like to yell or say hi when you walk in the door. Sometimes the team members will yell a little louder than we'd like, but they say hi when you come in and thank you when you leave, to try to, because we really do appreciate, obviously, the customers, and we just try to make it a fun environment for the team members working there.
Is this a franchise or a corporate?
This is corporate.
It's corporate?
This is corporate. We've gone through and identified the corporate areas we are going to develop. Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin are my markets, so kind of in the central. We are franchising Colorado. We're franchising the Carolinas. So we pretty much went through and picked out the markets we wanted and that we thought we'd do well in. Obviously, the Northwest, California are basically corporate stores out on the East Coast, DC, Baltimore. So we've kind of went through and handpicked what we wanted first, and then we'll franchise it. And it's going to be large franchisees as well. We sell the market. We don't sell one or two restaurants. So it's selling, the franchisee in Colorado has the state of Colorado. So he's opened one already in Colorado Springs, one in Denver, and so he's got the whole state to expand in. And then we have, definitely demands on how many restaurants he needs to open in that market and in what period of time. But these are all corporate here in Chicago.
It's okay. Anybody else?
Actually, just my architectural questions.
Mhm.
The, what part of, other than is the horizontal slat, the wood soffit, is that part of your branding?
No, it's been something that it's not 100%, or I should say, it's not part of our branding. We've used it in the past, and especially out in the Northwest, it gives it that feel. But it's nothing that, that's our trademark or anything like that. We really wanted to kind of, I'll say, dress up the space a little, change it up a little. I don't mean it to be offensive to you
The existing
as a
structure
building
is kind
owner.
of a universal vanilla box suitable for any 3,000 square foot rectangular tenant. We agree with the tenant, we'd like to see it jazzed up. We're not real happy with the way the adjacent space looks from the old window space there. And, we think anything to call more attention to the fact that there's an open and live tenant would be a benefit. This has a certain sign appeal without being signage.
Yeah, we're hoping to really catch people's eye as they turn into that
Could you
shopping
hand those
center.
photographs
Oh, sure.
to us so we can see those? Oh, I'm sorry.
Will this fill that building then? Will the building be completely filled, or is there
Yeah.
still a vacant space?
No, that'll fill the
That'll fill
balance of the space.
I guess I have one concern on the proposed patio. There's a gap. It looks to be about 18 inches between your raised retaining wall and the proposed fence. And how would you maintain that gap?
I'm not sure.
Versus mounting the cedar screen on top of the landscape wall? So right here,
Yeah, I think.
there's a little, it's
I
a
think-
hole.
No, I think,
Yeah.
There's a mobile one up there somewhere.
I think, I agree, the architect plotted out there, when it comes final building permits and we go through that, I'm inclined to fill it in and actually mount the fence to the existing brick trash enclosure that it's screening.
Yeah, I would say just either bringing the patio out to that line or bringing the fence on top of the new landscape wall, so there's just not that gap.
Yeah.
That
And then-
makes sense. I think that's a
I
little,
agree.
a CAD jockey kind of missing something, maybe, we'll say.
And then-
So that wouldn't make sense to us either. We don't want a tripping point for a child to fall, to fall off the patio or step in, whatever we have there. So I would agree that that should be tight, yeah. we'll make sure that we clean that up on the,
And then another part of that is it's calling out as 5 feet tall. Is it 5 feet tall from the surface of the patio, or is it from the surface where
Patio
it's shown as
surface.
mount?
the
Patio
patio
surface,
surface.
okay. So you'd still be able to see over it as you're walking around, or?
Yeah, a tall enough person would potentially see over it, but I think it'll screen the trash area sufficiently and without creating a barrier and a obstacle.
Okay.
Do you have an agreement with the center itself for cross parking?
We previously explored it with the Payway restaurant occupancy request, and we had gotten to the point of drafting the documents, and for other reasons, the tenants backed out on it. We've discussed it with them previously, and they'd indicated that they don't see a problem with it. Once we reduce the square footage of the DXL space by its non-sales floor area, stock rooms, tailor rooms, office space such as that, we're only going to be short 9 or 10 spaces. And if for any reason we can't come to agreement with Inland for a simple cross easement, we also own River Tree Outlet Number 5 where the bedding experts is, and we have excess parking in that location for the use. So we would, if at minimum, if we can't come to an agreement with Inland, we'll simply require employees to park on our other property.
I just want to note that the parking calculation that's included in your packet include the entire space for DXL as retail space and did not account for stockroom.
Doesn't it typically, though, for any retail space?
For the River Tree PUD and annexation agreement, that part, when it relates to parking calculations, is specifically excluded.
We rarely have more than about 6 cars in that lot for DXL.
I don't think you'll have a parking problem.
no.
You won't have a space problem, but won't you have a proximity problem? Because who's going to park at the back side of the building to go to the front side?
Well, and, that's,
Because this isn't the city where, you park around the block and it's not a big deal.
right, right, right,
And you have what, there's 20 spaces in front of you on that south
right.
corner?
And the others behind.
Right.
Yep.
So from your standpoint as the user, putting aside the number, is the proximity appropriate for the use?
We feel it is. I mean, we feel that the people will have no problem walking around the corner there, I guess you'd say, and coming to our space, that they're going to want to, get to us, and they're willing to park behind us and walk.
And how did you come up with 10 PM as a close time on Friday and Saturday and 9 PM, Sunday through Thursday?
That's just those are our standard hours across the country.
Because, if you're a pizza place that also serves alcoholic beverages, people in this town don't have that many places to go within this town.
I think
Oh,
they're
really?
saying they'd like you to stay open later.
Got it, okay. Message
Opposed
received.
to most villages.
Okay. I mean, we can certainly look at that, absolutely. That's a great suggestion. Deerfield, the mayor was at a ribbon cutting, and she suggested that we start delivering, because there's only one other pizza place in Deerfield that delivers, and she thinks we don't deliver, and right now we have no desire to deliver, but again, that's great suggestion. So maybe it makes sense in certain areas that we stay open later to get the sales. If we're,
I live out here, I know.
Okay.
There's nothing open past
Really?
10 o'clock,
Yeah.
very little.
I live in Highland Park, it's worse.
And especially with the movie theaters,
Yeah.
people want to,
are there movie theater?
right across the street.
Right across the
and
street.
in
So,
the mall.
well, then, okay. I'll take that back to operations. That could really help. It's all about hitting those hurdles and surpassing them. So believe me, we're open to any suggestions. Absolutely. That's great feedback.
And you're going to have speakers in the outdoor area? Is that?
Typically, if we're allowed, we would like to have speakers on the
Is
on
that
the patio, just
announcing
for
when
music.
Somebody's order is ready, or is that plain music?
That's playing music, yeah, yeah. If somebody goes out and grabs a seat in the patio and we're calling their name, and we see no one's picking up, no one's coming up, then we'll run it out to them and basically call it. But that is just the music that we have playing in the restaurant. We'd also, if we can, we do have separate volume controls, but obviously, this location, we wouldn't be disturbing anyone, like, as far as residential, I should say, so. And we don't play any hard rock or anything crazy. We are family-oriented, so it's, pretty basic
But
music.
the people that are listening to that hard rock grew up listening to that.
So you want me to play hard rock, stay open later, serve beer and wine? I've got the message.
I am now old enough that Ravinia is catering to my generation. And having grown up there, I can't tell you how old that makes me feel.
Point taken. It's not elevator music. We actually, there's one person at Mod that picks the music to play, and she's very, very talented at it. And so it's really a nice mix of music. It's not elevator music. She is, she's not here, so I can say, I'm guessing she's about 30 years old, 28 or 30.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Any facial
If she's 24, I'm in trouble, yeah. If she ever watches a recording of this, so.
I know the branding in Deerfield is different than what I'm seeing with the logo and the illumination and even the super fast. Can you kind of elaborate on why you chose this branding over what Deerfield has?
And actually, the only difference between Deerfield and this one is really the only difference is the super fast underneath. It's just script letters like this at Deerfield as well.
Did they allow the marquee lighting? I didn't think they did.
Oh, the marquee, I see what you're saying. No, they did not. No, they did not. Right. And so if there's an issue with that,
And
we
also-
just have channel letters with the vinyl faces, yeah.
And
back.
also the size, the Deerfield, I think, was smaller.
Yeah, we were, I would say,
I think
we're,
it's 24 inches.
yeah, and how tall are these? 30, yeah,
I think they have a more restrictive ratio than you.
yeah, yeah.
And the
And-
structure they went into doesn't have a great sign band. design.
And that's only 2,100 square feet at Deerfield versus this one. A little bit bigger, square footage. But, if there's,
I'm just wondering, like, how the branding is determined, and you mentioned you're opening up numerous
Right,
other
we-
stores. What format is it going to take?
right, and to tell you the truth, we are still working on our signage. Our CEO is very hands-on and thinks he's a designer, so he's,
That could be trouble.
yeah, that could get me in trouble too. So I'm guessing this is something that he's seen whenever he sees something, he takes a picture that he likes and sends it to our design team. And so my guess is this could be a test to see how it looks. I'm pretty sure that I saw this on the Redmond, Washington site as well. And if you wanted pictures of that, we could certainly give you some nighttime pictures or something, but,
I personally just am not a fan of the marquee, but that's just,
Because they
Yeah.
tend to be burnt out so often.
well, you're using LED.
Yeah, we're
so
using
it's not
LED.
gonna be,
I was going to say, we're
Should
not-
last a
we
long
won't
time.
have the profane letters that get left.
right.
right. Yeah, exactly,
No,
luckily.
I check that, definitely. but
Right, right.
I just don't think it's as,
For this one?
It's a very stylistic. It's
Yep.
got a kind of Broadway feel.
exactly.
And on the interior, we're very, I'll call it, kind of like the exposed ductwork, we're just a concrete floor, so they want that industrial kind of loft feel. So that's the other thing, that this signage is leaning more towards that type of feel. So, I'm sure, but, if you're not happy with the signage, it's not a problem, you know, if push, you know, we can change it, and we can have it more like Deerfield, that's not a problem.
I personally just don't think it gives us as much of an upscale look as
Uh-huh.
what I think you're looking at.
Yeah, actually, the picture has that type of, that
That's what I thought.
exact, yeah,
Yeah.
that exact signage.
Although,
so.
when you look at that space, no offense again to the
Right, I know.
landlord here.
Right.
It is a very plain building.
Right.
I actually like the marquee, especially because it's facing Milwaukee. It's all
That's where we're
commercial
hoping it's
around
gonna
there.
pop
I'd
and
be
just
curious
grab your
to see
eye.
what it's gonna look like, to
Right.
bring a different look to that area that might attract more.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping,
Yeah.
that kind of being right there, that it's going to pop, and especially at night, we're hoping that something like this will grab your eye more.
The
And there is a
DXL
lot
is-
you can do with LED, and I'm assuming that
Mm-hmm.
at night you would have it, that it would dim, because obviously LED at night can be like sunlight.
Oh, yeah, and we don't want it to be, I mean, we
Right.
don't want it to be blinding either.
You want it to be
so-
attractive.
Right, absolutely, yeah, we're not looking for gaudy by any means, so, but point taken, I understand what you're, you know,
The DXL facade is so sterile and cubic
fine.
and minimalist that something that the wood softens it. It really identifies a separate tenant spaces rather than a second thought.
that's what we're hoping, that it's just an eye catcher out there from both sides. You know, if you're in the mall or the shopping center behind us, and you're going to catch it from, you know, from that side, or if you're coming in, you're going to catch it. Or if you're on Milwaukee, we're hoping you're going to catch it.
The east elevation, there's two different ones in our packet. On the Becker Architects, the wood facade stops about
Oh.
a foot down, and then on your signage one, it goes all the way down the east facade.
We've amended we sent in a revised submittal which brought the east facade all the way up to the trash enclosure.
So it's like this, the
That's-
signage one?
it's-
Okay,
yep.
good.
Also with the signage, just of note, so there's the south elevation signage and the east elevation signage. The south elevation signage, when our building commissioner reviewed the sign, the size of the sign, it's required to be 40.37 square feet, and it's proposed at 40.9 square feet, but, end
We have-
discussions.
Yeah, we'll shrink it down to match. I think it was just possibly a miscalculation, you know, whatever. So we'll shrink it down to whatever we need to, absolutely.
What's the total difference?
0.6 square feet.
Half a foot.
It's the other one that requires variation.
The south.
Yeah, I think they should be the same on both sides, and I think the size looks fine,
Okay,
based on the scale of the building.
yeah, that, I mean, we'd love that, but, you know, that's certainly up to all of you.
Anybody else? Are you doing, is there no other outside the building? You're not doing anything to the parking lot or anything else?
We have some landscape upgrades, replacements that your engineer noted. A lot of them we did already, it was just removal of some deteriorated things, and we're constantly replacing.
Okay.
We can't keep up with the emerald ash borer, though,
Yeah.
so.
And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do with the slope up from the.
We tapered it, we did a lot with it, with the DXL modifications and moving the handicap ramps.
Right.
I think eliminating that access drive, which is virtually unusable by putting this deck, is a great idea.
Yeah.
And will give us better condition there overall.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Anything else you'd like to add?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I see we have section 18.3 responses in our packet that are part of the record here. Notices went out and we didn't receive anything, is that correct, back?
That's correct.
Okay, to the extent this is a public hearing, we have to ask whether anyone from the public wants to speak. Okay,
Mother isn't here.
seeing no great rush to the podium, we can close the public hearing portion. Unless somebody's got any other comments or questions, what this commission has is a standing motion to recommend approval that we vote on. And you're asking for a couple things. The first would be a motion to recommend approval of a special use permit to allow a restaurant Mod Pizza, serving alcohol with the following variations. A sign variation for the wall sign on the east elevation to be 29.55 square feet, which is 9.36 square feet increased, and to allow a parking variation to allow 48 parking spaces in lieu of the minimum number of required spaces, which otherwise would be 67. It's subject to a variety of conditions of approval that are within our packets, including final approval of plans by the village engineer and landscape architect prior to building permit issuance of a license to allow outdoor dining by the village board, compliance with all ordinances and standards of the village except as otherwise noted, and I suppose it's also a liquor license.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we had 4, which would be then issuance of a liquor license by the village board. And then there also were the comments that we had with respect to the patio enclosure. Is that the best way to put it?
Screen.
The
screen
patio
wall, I
screen.
guess.
That you indicated that you would also do the
Make sure
modification.
yeah.
Right.
That we don't have a gap.
Right.
I agree,
Okay,
100%.
okay. And with that, we need a second. Any discussion?
Is there something in there about following the east elevation facade enhancement versus the architect versus the signage person? Because the architect's drawings are incorrect.
Oh, the,
All right.
And that's something that's probably on my fault for not including the correct version, having it wrap all the way around. It's certainly staff's belief that they comply with the wraparound. That'll be the plan that'll be utilized
Yeah, we've agreed
when
to do it.
reviewing.
Yeah, because that was in the comments back that Joe gave us, so the architect made the changes. Somehow it didn't get into your packet
Certainly
possibly.
make it
okay.
yeah, but we can make it a condition just to.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
clarification. You seconded it,
Absolutely.
Jerry, you okay with that? Okay, so we'll add that. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, if not, we need to vote.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Cotton?
Yes.
Commissioner Hesner?
Yep.
Commissioner Heidner?
Yes.
Commissioner Mulchrone?
Yes.
Commissioner Garog?
Yes.
Chairman Morris?
Yes. Okay. Second, we have a motion to recommend preliminary and final site plan and landscape plan approval, subject to the conditions that we've just described. We need a second for that.
Second.
Any discussion on final site and landscape plan approval? Okay, we need a roll call on that.
Commissioner Cotton?
Yes.
Commissioner Hesner?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidner?
Yes.
Commissioner Mulchrone?
Yes.
Commissioner Garog?
Yes.
Chairman Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Okay. Lastly, we have a motion to recommend preliminary and final approval of the architectural elevations, and those would be architectural elevations reflecting the change of the wraparound, and I suppose also the lack of gap in the screening,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
and all the other conditions that we discussed.
Mhm.
Okay, so we need a second for that.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Then we need a roll call for that.
Commissioner Hesner?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidner?
Yes.
Commissioner Mulchrone?
Yes.
Commissioner Garog?
Yes.
Chairman Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Cotton?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else we can do for you this evening?
I don't think so. If you want to go to the Mod Pizza, it's at 70 South Waukegan Road on Deerfield, on Waukegan Road in Deerfield. Just south of Lake Cook Road, there's a Subway next to us and Starbucks on the corner. But in case you want to check it out before we open here, you're more than welcome to go check it out.
What's your
Thank you.
expected opening?
Yeah, it's all based on permit. I mean,
How's your
we,
permit department running?
Great.
okay, good.
Um,
We would love to be open by Thanksgiving to catch the
That would be
Christmas, it's an 8-week build-out is what we typically do. So we know it's going to be tight. We definitely would like it to be a 2015 turnover or open. If it turns over just before Christmas, that's what it is. But obviously, the more we can get of that Christmas business up there in that area.
So we do have a village board meeting next week on the 21st at 7 PM.
Okay.
If you are able to attend that meeting, we can put you on for the committee of the whole, which takes place immediately following.
I can be here next, is that Tuesday, 21st?
Yes.
I will be here on the 21st.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we can place you on the committee of the whole for that item then
Okay,
for discussion.
great. Well, great. I appreciate it. Thank you. We look forward to opening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any development review or discussion we need to review or discuss?
Yeah, several different items. One, a long time ago, and this is all kind of backing up since I know we haven't had many meetings this year so far. But Swanson Development, that was the southwest corner of Buffalo Grove Road and 45. That was a single-family use development that was a long time ago being discussed. Still being discussed. They have now gotten to the point where they're looking to present plans for technical review in early August. They've scaled back the number of single-family homes from approximately 56 down to approximately 43. It looks like they will require some Army Corps of Engineering review, which will probably create a lengthy review process as this moves forward through the entitlement process. So that's one item. Another item is, and you may have gotten a notice from Lisa earlier in the week about 850 Milwaukee. That's the Uncle Julio's restaurant. The Planning and Zoning Commission meeting will meet on July 29th to discuss that particular use. Again, the items to consider during that review will be a parking variation due to the significant parking requirements that they have. It's different than River Tree where it's just, it goes by seat. Oh, actually, no, it's identical. It goes by seat and by employee, and due to the size of the place, and then the parking parameters that are at that location, it just makes it pretty tough. Their proposal is to use valet parking. They've also done a traffic parking study via KLOA, and so they'll be presenting that information along with that packet as well. Other item, and this is going to be moving forward, they're going to be going to the former Opus property, has been purchased by Cy Taxman, or is in the process of, I should say. But we'll be going to the village board for concept review on August the 11th. Essentially, what he's proposing
Say it
is.
again? Start that again?
Sure. The Opus property at the Vernon Hills Town Center. And that's the undeveloped residential component that was never constructed, consisting of townhomes and a 6-story apartment/condominium building. Mr. Taxman has proposed to finish constructing the townhomes in the exact same exterior and footprint as was approved, as well as construct a 5-story apartment/condominium building that will have 74 units, which is 8 additional from what was initially approved through the Planning and Zoning Commission. So the main items really will be discussion of the increase in number of units, a variation has already been granted for the size and all the other mechanics, and actually all the utilities are already in place. The pad's already in place for the townhomes. So there's a lot of work, and a lot of the engineering components have actually already been done, which leads us to believe that should be a very short technical review process due to a lot of the foundation and site work already having been completed. So that in mind, we are looking at very, very tentatively potentially scheduling a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting as early as September 2nd.
So are the buildings expanding in size, or are the units themselves shrinking?
The units would be shrinking. I think it'd be more 1-bedroom units, I think is the intent. And those, I believe, the intent is to be, for those units to be for rent, and then for the townhomes to be for sale. But we haven't seen a fleshed out plan, since it's still in ongoing conversations, but that's what we've been told, and that's what we're starting to move forward with. And that is it in a nutshell.
Okay. Okay. We have minutes of the April 15th, 2015 meeting in our packet. Any comments on it? Okay, now we have a motion. You have comments?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, we need a second. We can do that by acclamation. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, those are approved. If there's nothing else, we motion to adjourn. We need a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Good night.